What's going on today, guys? Welcome to AD Studios. Today I took out my Sony Fx30 and I did some slow motion. And I utilized the S&Q modes on the slow motion, as well as shot 120 frames per second 4K 10-bit 422, but had some screwed up results. And I'll talk about those at the end. And hopefully you guys won't make the same mistake I did. And I think there's an easy fix for it. And we'll tell you about that at the end. But let's look at these S&Q modes. So first I did 120 frames per second in 4K S&Q mode. And then I did the 240 and 1080. I did not do any 120 frames per second 1080. But you could probably imagine the results would be pretty equal or better than the 240 and 1080. So think about that when we're looking at the 240. And I think you might be surprised with the results. First, we'll go look at some seagulls I caught taken off down at our bay here in Vermont on Lake Champlain. And then we'll just look at some that I did on my dogs because I ran out of time and daylight was running out. So I just got my dogs and fed them some treats and saw what it looked like in slow motion. So let's get right into it, guys. So let's go ahead and check out the birds right now. This first shot's just I caught two of them when I first got up there, and one of them was taken off on me. And I want to punch in on it just because I think that with 4K, it's nice. It's pretty good of him taking off, even with that strong punch in. We're at like probably 200%. And another set. This is that other bird from that taken off. And again, this is 120 frames per second, 4K. I'm using a kit lens, like the Sony ZV-E10 kit lens for this guy. And I'm using it because it's so far away and it was my zoom that I had. And now we got the whole group of them. So we're punched in 200% on this one, and let's just see. So this is the whole group taken off. What do you think? I think it looks pretty quality, and I did shoot this in log. So yeah, I mean, this is some good usable footage. So let's hop over to the dogs real quick. And here's my just girl dog. Yep. So this one's 120 frames per second, 4K still. Then we're going to jump to the 240 here in just a second. So this is just her lurking through the yard. It's a nice bounce, but 120 is not quite slow enough for what a lot of us want to capture. Now, if you have DaVinci Resolve like I'm using, you could always slow down more and use the optical flow and get some nice results. Now we're at the 240, 1080, and now we're at using this Miike lens that I have here, because I was sitting still with these dogs and they were close enough to me, and you can see the bokeh difference because like with that last bit where I was following her, I was not using this lens. I was using that kit lens still, and it could be partially that this lens is pulling better, but like this is a cheap lens. It's Miike. I'll list it below, but it is like under $100 cinema lens. It comes with these sprockets, fun lens to use, f2. 25 mil, and it's unfortunately the only one that they make like that at that price point. I wish they had a whole line of them because I would buy a little kit of them. It'd be nice if they had the 25, like a 16 maybe, a 50. That'd be cool, but they don't. So I have this one, and this is the shot that I caught in 1080, and tell me this doesn't look absolutely spectacular. So, and he's ready for it. This guy's name's Beast. He's my dog. He's a cool dog. Boom. And he catches it. Look at that guy. Just quality. Like, for 1080 footage, and it looks a lot better than what it used to look like on my A6600 in the 240. And let's check out Jasmine. This is the one we saw first running. And so this is her, 1080, 240. Oh, I want to slow that bite down using the, I want to slow that bite down, like that catch right there. We're going to slow it down even more and use optical flow and see if it looks good. So let's test it out. All right, so here's that bit slowed down. I did it to 50%. So we're really getting a 480 frames per second slow-mo here. And let's go ahead and look at that. So, and I just did the piece where she grabs it, none of that BS afterwards. So pretty good. You get a little bit of blur, but the optical flow holds up pretty nicely. So that's it for the footage I caught today. And the reason I didn't capture the standard 120 frames per second shot was because of my memory card. So I don't have the CF Express card. I just have the V90 standard SD card, and it's a badass SD card, but it doesn't handle that high bit rate where it is the 10-bit 422 and 280 is what it's asking to have for write speed, which this just barely handles it, and it just wasn't cutting it. So I got like all the media error and some glitches when I looked at my footage later. Sucks. So get a CF Express card if you want to get the full use out of your FX30. If you're watching this, you're either curious about buying one or you got one on the way and you were wanting to know about its slow-mo capabilities. So CF Express card is probably necessary. That card I'm using is 128 gigabytes. I'll link it below. CF Express card, you can get a 64 gigabyte for around the same price. So I'll put a couple of those down there as well. I'll put this lens down there. It's an awesome lens, as you saw. It gives you some good bokeh and some pretty sharp look to it. If you guys are interested in budget videography stuff, this is the channel to check out. I'm always putting out new stuff, and I take advice from the comments. So leave comments if you want to see other stuff. Let me know what else you want to learn about this. And hit that like button if you enjoyed this little video. Subscribe to the channel to see more of that budget videography stuff. And if you guys are interested in doing social media stuff, shooting video with your phone and all that, check out that playlist that I have right here on Power Director and mobile video editing. And I'm gonna go shoot something else. I'll have another video for you guys next week. Go shoot something, post it on social media. Don't forget to share your stuff. Peace out, guys. See you next week with that other one.